Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of the Hyperfixation Supershow podcast. We report, you decide. I don't know what our thing is this week.
Good evening, my fellow listeners. Colin's fellow listeners.
Yeah, all zero of them at the moment.
Eh.
I think I'm already gonna be dating the first episode because in episode one I had like actual footage of the game I was talking about. That's like the first and last time that's gonna happen. But yeah, this week we're going to be talking about Metroid Other M, or how I learned to stop worrying and love the baby.
What the? Okay. I have no idea what to expect now with that.
Yeah, I know. That's our starting point. Okay, so this is a one of those old ass games that nobody besides me remembers and or cares about. The people who do remember it are usually the people who hate it.
so you're all
Like,
alone.
yeah, I mean, I love this game, but it is also the fucking stupidest and worst. Okay, I don't want to say the worst game in the Metroid series, because that title goes to Metroid Prime Pinball. But it's one of the dumbest games, honestly. So okay, let's just go right into it. What is Metroid Other M in relation? What exactly is Metroid Other M in the Metroid series slash timeline? I mean, I'm gonna have a bigger deep dive video on this later, but we need to give a little bit of a primer, sort of I guess, a warm up for that. So, okay, so Metroid is, well, there's these creatures called Metroids that suck the life out of things. They're just these giant alien space jellyfish. They got four claws. They got this weird nuclei thing in their head. They look real goofy. They basically were created by these bird people, along with a thing called Mother Brain, which is just a gigantic brain in a jar. I'm not making this up. That's what it looks like. And at some point in the series, oh, that's right. So the story falls around Samus. Okay, she is the uh, that person on the cover of all the box art that people say, "Hey guys, look, is that Metroid?
Is that
Yo,
Metroid?
if Metroid were a girl, would she date Zelda?
Is
No wait.
is
If
there a
Zelda were,
Metroid game without Shamish?
yeah, there is actually Metroid Federation Force, which I've never played. It came out during that drought era because like spoiler alert, after this game came out, it bombed so hard that there was no new Metroid games for like 5 years.
It nuked Metroid off the map.
Yeah, yeah, it
It's like
did.
it's like when they made the Aragon movie and they're like, "Oh, this is really really bad. We'll never ever touch Aragon again."
Yep, sounds about right. Did they like did Pellini like make any jokes or references to the Aragon movie in his books?
I don't think he made any jokes or references in the books, but I know that when they made the movie, he was like, if they did a good job, I'll let them continue. And then when the news reporters and just different writers asked him after he saw the movie, like, "Oh, are you going to let him continue the movie series?" He just refused to talk to any of them.
It's
like,
like how
like he just drops the conversation and drops every interview like that.
it's like how that Hideo Kojima dude reviews movies on Twitter. Like, okay, you know Kojima, Metal Gear Solid guy who made Death Stranding, the pizza delivery guy simulator. Uh,
Yeah.
well, he there's like this meta game that people have noticed where like whenever he sees a movie, he'll like say something about it, you know?
hmm
So I'm gonna give you two reviews. Saw Into the Spider Verse, fantastic movie, great art direction. I love the animation. Saw Blade Runner 2047. Those are two reviews. I, I mean, I don't know if Kojima actually saw Blade. I mean, I don't know if he didn't like Blade Runner, but whenever he doesn't like a movie, he'll just say saw this movie.
Saw it. Yep, it was a movie. We'll confirm.
Yeah, one of my favorite tweets is where like that new Evangelion rebuild movie was coming out, and it's like super highly anticipated. People have been waiting years for this one. Kojima went to an early screening, and he's like, "Saw the new Eva movie," and people lost their minds. There was like a meltdown on Twitter about it.
I bet he probably knows about that too, and he's just like tilting people. But then again, I wouldn't put it past him to not like it either.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just couldn't comment on it, but it's still hilarious to me because people are like, "No."
What does it mean?
So anyway, getting back to Metroid. So in the this is all before the first Metroid game in the timeline, right? I'm kind of explaining this. So there's this gigantic purple space dragon that fucking killed and ate Samus's parents. All right, I've definitely talked about this before because it's like one of my favorite parts of the series.
Yeah, it was a game for, well, I want to say a game for children, but it's not really a game for. I
Well,
mean,
it was on the NES Nintendo Entertainment System, little kid stuff, you know. It's just back then it was just Ridley did something. Who knows what he did? I don't even know when they revealed the whole parents eating thing. It might have been when the manga came out and the manga was allowed to be more hardcore. And the manga was really hardcore, by the way. There's like serious PTSD shit in there. Like Samus is just walking around. She's like actually fucking Eren Yeager from season one. That's how Samus is in the manga. She encounters a space pirate, and like they need to interrogate this guy. She points a gun to his head and is just like, "I'm gonna fucking kill this thing." They're like, "No, we're interrogating him," and he's like, "No, that those things killed my parents." You know, it's great. Uh, it also involves racism now that I think about it. Because yeah, the Galactic Federation, they're just racist. Whatever. Anyway, so Ridley just he's the space pirate dude. In the manga, he talks. He's never talked in the games, and I really wish that he did because he's got a lot of funny things to say. So he and his band of goons, the space pirates, they fly out to basically this space colony thing where Samus's parents are working. It's all real good, and then like just straight up destroys everything. And I guess there's like an explosion, and he needs to eat the corpses to survive. And so he eats. Well, he may or may not have actually killed Samus's parents directly. I like to think that in like because the manga is kind of messy canon. It's not entirely canon.
hmm
I'd like to think that in the future they retcon it that he just straight up murders them right in front of her. Because in the manga, there's a really dramatic scene where Samus meets Ridley for the first time, and this is a retelling of the events of the first Metroid game. Because it isn't the timeline; it's the first game. Okay.
Yep.
And like you know this scene, Ridley is taunting Samus, and he's just looking at her, and you expect like a sort of I don't remember any of it. For me, it was Tuesday kind of moment, right? But
I was
no,
gonna say, like, your typical Tuesday.
yeah, but no, Ridley is just kind of like, oh yeah, you were that brat on that planet of people I fucking murdered. And then he just leans in close. You know, at this point, Samus is going through hardcore PTSD because this is the space dragon that ate her parents. Understandable. And he's just like, I bet your parents were probably among the corpses on that planet. I had to eat the corpses to survive. And then he just slowly points over at his elbow. Is this your mom here? Then he points at his knee. Is this your daddy right here? Like, really, the manga doesn't fuck around. He's also probably the most brutal character in Smash Bros. Right now, to be honest. Like, okay, so in Smash Bros. Brawl, I'm going on a number of tangents here, but I really like talking about this character.
hmm
So, in Smash Bros. Brawl, there's like a moment where you fight Ridley, you fight Meta Ridley in those games as bosses. Uh, I think one of the Ridleys, when he shows up, he immediately sees Samus and just targets her. He like runs up, picks her up, then just starts grinding her along the ceiling and the walls of the facility that they're fighting in.
I can see why you're suddenly interested in this.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like that's probably why it's one of my favorite fighting tropes where somebody just grabs a person and just starts dragging him on the ground. And I love that ability because that's first appeared in Smash Bros. It gets incorporated into Metroid Other M later on. Like just retroactively, they're just like, yeah, this is just a thing that really does now.
It's just it's just a thing now.
Yeah, it's so cool. You know, let's keep it in here. It's also one of his abilities in Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is really neat.
It's just one of those
Anyway,
things where it's like it's in Smash Bros. And it's like, oh, you mean Smash Bros. That pulls from everything else is now giving influence to other things?
yeah, surprisingly. And in a lot of ways, Smash Bros. Influenced the Metroid series in ways that fans don't like. We'll get to that in a bit. Anyway, okay, so now, of course, Samus avenges her parents, and she gets over the whole uh, PTSD thing and all that because you kill the guy who killed your parents. The like that one Onion article says, a child does not reach maturity until they avenge the death of one of their parents. Okay, so Metroid 2, the people, I guess the Galactic Federation was like, those Metroids are pretty fucked. They can suck the life out of things. They should not be allowed to live. They're like super dangerous and shit. I don't know. Their DNA is really weird and very like fluid. Like they can just be made into whatever weapons that are needed. Uh,
Well, yeah, they're
Apparently
just
the
super mutants. Like,
yeah the Chozo made them for like to combat the X parasites, which is a they don't become a plot point until Fusion, which is chronologically the last game in the series, until Metroid Dread, that is, of course. But well, there's also the Prime games, which take place between Metroid 1 and 2. So in the Prime games, I'm just gonna drop this in here. You fight Ridley like two more times in those games, each with their own dramatic entrance and explosions and crazy stuff. Uh, Metroid 2, you don't fight Ridley, but you do kill all of the Metroids. Like Samus just kind of flies out to the planet. I think it's like XR388 or something. I don't know. She flies out to this planet where all the Metroids are at, with the mission to just destroy the Metroids. This is just what the Galactic Federation told her to do. She just lands on the planet and is just like, I'm here to kill Metroids. Then she does it. Uh,
my name is Samus. I'm here to kill Metroids.
no. What's your name? I'm here to kill Metroids. That's what her name is. I'm gonna be honest.
I can roll into a ball. Now I must kill Metroids.
I'm gonna be honest. When I was writing the notes, I wanted to make that chaos joke from the start. That's literally might as well be the entire reason I made this stupid. We're here
entire
to kill
point
Metroids.
was just for the chaos joke.
Chaos. Honestly, that's basically what Samus's personality was like, according to fans. Because here's the thing: Samus doesn't really talk. She doesn't. In the games, the first time that she's ever talked, I guess technically it would be Super Metroid because she gives a monologue at the start, but she hasn't really had much to say. So in Metroid Prime, she's just a silent protagonist and might as well just be Master Chief if he didn't talk. Wait, that analogy broke apart. But yeah.
Does Master Chief talk in the first couple of games?
I think he does actually. I don't even know. I don't play Halo.
I know he talks in the later games.
I was on the Samus would win in a battle side of the Halo or Samus Master Chief rivalry. Those were fun times.
The death battles.
Yeah. So okay, they never made a death battle of Master Chief versus Samus. They had her go up against like that bounty hunter from Star Wars that
I was gonna say it was Samus
died,
against Boba Fett,
which was stupid. Like Boba Fett fucking dies, and then they retcon it that he doesn't. No, guys, he crawled out of the Sarlacc pit. He totally does. In the movies, he's just a pussy.
Did you ever hear about like the lore about him crawling out of the Sarlacc pit?
Yeah, he crawls out of the Sarlacc pit, and then every year, he on the anniversary of that day, he flies back out there to shoot the Sarlacc pit from orbit.
Yeah, like apparently the Sarlacc pit has some like form of sentience because there was some weird alien thing that fell down there and got like digested, but instead of like dying, it ended up gaining like it merged its sentience with the Sarlacc pit. Oh. So he like learns the Sarlacc pit has sentience, and then he's like, I will kill you, Sarlacc pit. And the Sarlacc pit's like, but I'm immortal. I can't die. So yeah, he just flies out there every year to shoot it from orbit and say, fuck you, Sarlacc pit, and then just fly away.
We're here to kill the Sarlacc pit.
My name's
Okay.
Boba Fett, and I'm going to kill the Sarlacc. No, it's more like the what is it? The Corpse Princess, where it's like I'm gonna
Oh,
make
yeah.
you remember. It's like I'm gonna remind you that you can die.
Anyway, so uh, here's the thing though. Samus kills all the Metroids except one. As she's leaving the planet, an egg hatches, and it's a Metroid baby. All right, and the Metroid baby sees her, and she's like, "Oh, are you my mama?" And then just immediately attaches onto her, and Samus just kind of sitting there like, "Well, shit, I can't exactly just kill a child. I mean, genocide is okay, but child murder, that's out of the question."
Do you
And
think
the
that's what?
baby has.
Do you think that's what went through Ridley's mind? Was just like he consumed all the corpses on this planet, and it like came to Samus, and it was just like, well, I can't kill a child. I'll just let it grow up.
I'd like to think that Ridley kept her alive out of spite. Like, he was bored in his long life and was just like, you know what? Wouldn't it be hilarious if there was one person out there who wanted me dead?
It's like the American Dad, the Western spinoff, where they like
Yeah.
kill the kid's family, and it's just this boy left, and the one outlaw is just like, oh no, he's looking at me, he's planning his revenge,
Oh, yeah.
he's gonna escape, he's gonna live, he's gonna be angry at me the entire time, and then he's when he grows older, he's gonna hunt me down, and he's gonna shoot me and kill me. Well, I won't give him that pleasure. And he like pulls a gun on himself.
That went a different direction than I was expecting.
He's like, I won't let him get that opportunity. So he like pulls a gun on himself, and then like
Yeah.
Bullock is the head honcho, and he's like, wait, no, and he like shoots the kid dead. And he's like, oh, thank you, boss. That was almost a goner.
So, okay, so Samus like takes this baby Metroid, and she like I almost said he. Whoa there. Almost got canceled.
Rule 63.
If only. Rule 63 Samus would. Well, how would that work? Questions for later. So anyway,
I'm sure you could Google it.
yeah, but I don't want to touch my computer because if I do, I could risk like getting weird audio glitches. Happened to me once. So like,
Mm.
Samus delivers this baby Metroid to a space research center because she's like, well, shit, I can't just raise a child of the like race that I murdered. You know, that's that ain't cool. And so she just drops it off there. Literally, the moment that she leaves, though, it gets attacked by space pirates. Like, this is where the plot of Super Metroid comes in. She's flying away, distress signal comes up. Ah, shit, here we go again. Flies back to the planet. Everybody's dead. You get to the end of, like, you get to, like, the. What's the word? You get to, like, the end of all the rooms and stuff, and you find the baby Metroid just kind of sitting there in this dark room. Alright? This is actually one of my favorite parts of Super Metroid. Super Metroid is very cinematic, especially for an old Super NES game. So you walk up to the Super Metroid, you see a pair of glowing eyes open up, and then Ridley just materializes. I don't know if he can like cloak himself or something, but he's holding the baby Metroid, and he just starts roaring at you. He flies away and leaves you to chase him. Okay, so you chase Ridley down to planet Zebes, and that's yes, the planet is called Zebes. Okay, remember that for later. And that's like Samus's home world in a way because after her parents got murdered, she was just kind of taken in by these bird people. And the planet Zebes has a high like gravity or whatever, so they gave her bird DNA and stuff.
So she could survive.
Yeah, so she can survive on the planet. She's like part bird person.
I take
Even
it
though
these bird people don't have hollow bones.
I would assume not because the planet with heavier gravity, you know, doesn't exactly check out. I don't even know why they're called bird people. They got beaks and stuff, but they look kind of weird. Uh, Whatever. But it still fuels my head canon that Samus has feather pubes, so I guess we're cool. Um, So, okay.
I can't
Uh,
unsee that now.
you're welcome. Now the fan base, whoever they are, yes, you. I'm looking at you, Steve. They're gonna be real upset by that. The entire 20-hour quest that is Super Metroid can be summarized with Samus fucks shit up and gets things done. You go through the entire planet, you get power ups, upgrades, you kill everything, literally everything that moves, until you finally get to the end where you fight Mother Brain and stuff. Oh yeah, you fight Ridley too, and Ridley dies. This is canonically the only death of Ridley, by the way. Like all the other fights with Ridley, he might have exploded, but he's still alive. Nah, this Ridley dies though. He just fucking dies. Um,
You might have been born in the explosion, but I was molded by it.
Explosion Ridley, the new version of Ridley. There's like 50 different Ridleys, and they all, yeah. Anyway, so you fight Mother Brain, the brain in the jar, and this time after you like destroy the brain in the jar, it's just kind of sitting there on the floor because you broke the jar open. Then suddenly a pair of legs and like a body just kind of sprouts out of it, and it gets up, and it turns into this giant monstrosity looking thing, and just starts like shooting beams at you. It's really creepy to see in motion. And oh yeah. Shit, I got stuff out of order. So while you're on your way to fight Mother Brain, all right, you're fighting the space pirate dude, and then out of nowhere, a gigantic Metroid appears and just sucks the life out of the space pirate, and then it goes over to you and starts sucking the life out of you, but then it stops halfway through when it realizes that you're Samus, and you just hear the same baby's cry sound effect that the
the,
baby.
the
Yeah,
little Metroid was just like, meow, meow.
yeah. It's actually kind of a cute moment because like they use the exact same sound effect I think from the old Game Boy game that was Metroid 2. So you just hear you hear the baby crying and then it just leaves. Just like, oh shit, what have I done? So anyway, now that I've effectively ruined the Chekhov's gun of this fight scene, uh, so Mother Brain shoots a hyper beam at you and almost kills you. And just as it's about to fire the finishing blow, that same Metroid flies in and just starts sucking the life out of her. All right, and it sucks her dry, and then goes over to you, and this time puts energy into you because I guess apparently Metroids can just do that. They're like a battery. Maybe that's why the space pirates wanted them. They just suck at making batteries.
It's just an IV set.
Yeah. So it puts the energy into you, but you also get the hyper beam that Mother Brain has. Don't ask me how that works. And as the opening monologue of Other M says, you lay Mother Brain to waste. So yeah, you just start fucking her up and shooting her. Her like energy comes back and stuff. She fires another hyper beam and this time kills the Metroid. It dies right above you. Uh, um, you kill Mother Brain. You set a bomb on the planet, like a time bomb. You leave the planet, and the entire thing just fucking explodes. You just destroy everything on Zebes. I think this is the main reason why Ridley dies in this game because you can't really logically explain away how Ridley keeps coming back if he's just, incinerated by a planet destroying explosion.
But
or,
all the other times when he dies, he just comes back.
yeah, he doesn't die. No, he doesn't die. He just explodes. It's fine. He's still alive. It's fine. Don't think
There's a
about it.
difference between him exploding and the thing he's standing on exploding. When the things he stands on explodes, he actually dies.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's right. His weakness is no ground, even though he can fly. Anyway, so one last thing I gotta explain before I get to Metroid Other M. That's right, this was about Metroid Other M. 25 minutes in. So let's see. Okay, so Metroid Fusion. This takes place after Super Metroid, or no, Metroid Other M, or no, fuck. Yes and yes. Okay, there we go. Metroid Fusion. Uh, you do a bunch of stuff on this secret research station where you know the Galactic Federation's doing some crazy shit, and you just yeah, you've got this computer that the Galactic Federation gave you, and this computer turns out later on to have the consciousness of Samus's commanding officer, Adam Malkovich, her former commanding officer before she left the military. Oh yeah, have I mentioned that she also joined the military? You know, like a typical anime protagonist.
Yep.
Avenge the death of your parent, join the military, check, check, bring mother back to life with alchemy. Wait, no, that's not it.
You're an
Uh,
orphan. You're taken in by the military in order to, like get revenge on the space pirate things that like killed your family.
this is
Um,
it. This is it, Raphael. This is where my parents died.
I'm just thinking of the one Spartan spin-offs for the Halo,
Yeah,
where like so they had the Spartan 2s, well, and they tried working on the Spartan 3s, and they just took a bunch of kids whose parents died due to
yeah.
the it wasn't the flood, it was the Covenant. That's what it was. The
Oh my
Covenant
god.
invading their planet,
Hmm.
and then they like one of the modifications is they get like super adrenaline rushes that
Oh,
they feel next to no pain, but they become stupidly aggressive.
so like Berserker Rage.
Yeah, there was a kid who had a hole blown through his stomach, and he was busy punching a brute, and he just didn't care.
Nice. Okay. So anyway, now let's get into Metroid Other M. Oh, actually, no. I gotta explain who Adam Malkovich is. Fuck. So Adam Malkovich was like basically Samus's commanding officer. All we really know about Adam Malkovich at the time of Metroid Fusion is that Samus cares about this guy, and he died tragically. And at some point in the games, he says, "Any objections, lady?" Okay, great, fantastic. Let's get into Metroid Other M. So the game opens up. I think the first thing that the first thing you're greeted with is monologuing. Samus just starts monologuing, okay? She's got like this prepared speech about how this is taking place between Fusion and Super Metroid, which is why that phrase I said earlier wasn't entirely wrong. Um, and she's just depressed and sad about the baby Metroid's death, or as she calls it, the baby. She only refers to the baby Metroid as the baby. We lost the baby.
We
The
lost
baby
the
died.
baby. The baby's dead. It's like, oh, are you a mother now?
Oh, we'll get into that later, Dylan, and trust me, that's gonna be the funnest part of this episode.
Oh
Okay.
my God, is she pregnant? Pregnant on Dante?
If Samus is pregogonant and turns into a morph ball, what happens to the baby? Uh, so no, she's not pregnant, but she might as well be. She's definitely got the pregnancy brain. So Samus is just giving this depressed recollection. You get like a actually a pretty cool looking CGI shot because this game has very fancy looking CG cutscenes, almost as good as the cutscenes in the Metroid Prime Hunters DS game, which put the company that made that game in bankruptcy because they were so good. Uh, but yeah, the cutscenes are really pretty and nice. Like there's a scene where so Samus is getting her energy refueled by the baby Metroid. Sorry, the baby. Uh, and you see Mother Brain fire the hyper beam and fucking murder it. It explodes right above her head. There's a massive just guts and blood flying everywhere. And Samus just lying on the ground. She gets up, like pulls out, like gets her gun ready. The camera zooms in on her gun. It goes into the gun. You see a bullet shoot out of the gun. Well, energy blast and kill Mother Brain. Looks really pretty. Um, yeah. So she summarized, but this is all undercut by Samus's very dead fish monologue. Like she sounds like
She sounds like
she does.
Kaisa.
Yes, yeah, sure, Kaisa. She sounds like she doesn't give a shit at all. She's just like, yeah, and then the baby gave me the hyper beam, and then I laid Mother Brain to waste. She died, and then I gave the speech to the Galactic Federation on how I destroyed all the Metroids. It was a boring speech. Yeah, and she just keeps going on like that. That's her tone for the entire game, no matter what the situation is. Okay, she does act a little bit, but I don't care. Uh, so the game also has a tutorial scene, and I wouldn't bring this up if not for the really creepy tutorial guy. Like, so Samus wakes up, like from I don't know. I guess she was sleeping, but she was sleeping in a weird ass chair thing. I guess they were like operating on her or something, even though she's fine. Whatever. She wakes up and she's in the Zero suit, and then I immediately realize, adult me immediately realizes that whoa, this game has a lot of fan service in it. I didn't remember that when I first played it. Because like, see, when I was a kid and I was playing Metroid Other M, I was my entire concept of sexuality was just when a character was showing their belly button that was sexy, and that's it. And mm, out of context, yes. But so I just saw Samus in a Zero suit, and I was just like, oh yeah, she's wearing clothes. Cool. But there's a scene where she walks into the tutorial room, and she is about to materialize her suit, and you see that her like, and I'm just like, young me is like, oh wow, her it's really weird. Her hips are like twice the width of her shoulders, huh? And then adult me is just like, holy shit, her hips are twice the width of her shoulders.
She has an
her
hourglass shape.
her ass is fucking massive, dude. I know it's weird for me to tangent about horny here, but my god, that thing is galactic. Anyway,
Extra thick.
anyway, so for some reason in this game they decide that Samus can just materialize her suit at will. Like she can just kind of turn it on and off like a light switch. I guess this has kind of been the thing always, but it's always been weird to me because, like, as I'm gonna explain later on, parts of the game make no sense. Okay, I think the way that Chozo power suits work, because yes, this was made by the bird people, is that they can like the suit only works if you're focused, and so your mind has to be focused for you to use the suit, and Samus is just like trained to do that. Like it's just a way of saying that any normal person would not be able to use the power suit like Samus can. All right.
So if she's unconscious,
Yep. If she's unconscious, the suit disappears and she fucking dies.
that's like the entire like opposite of armor. I mean, like
Yeah.
just imagine like medieval knights. Like, oh, if they don't focus, congratulations, they're now
it's a,
naked.
hey, it's okay. The suit protects her from blunt force trauma when it has energy. When it doesn't, she dies. Anyway, so you walk in and you got this guy with glasses who just looks like some nerdy dude, and he's like, "Oh, hello there, Samus. You've been out for a while. I gave your suit a polish so it'd be at least a little bit presentable." Then he like adjusts his glasses, and it's just like, "The fuck? What's going on here? Who are you?" And
Who are you, and
he's
what
like,
the fuck did you do to the suit?
yeah, and so he's like telling you how the game works. The game controls really fucking weird. So you hold the Wii remote sideways, like you're playing with an NES controller. All right, that's how you move around and do everything. You just kind of move around with a control pad, a D-pad, by the way, not a control stick. Imagine moving in 3D space with a D-pad, Dylan.
Um,
You can only move in like four directions. That's it.
but can't you hit two at the same time?
I mean, you can go diagonally, I guess, but you can't do much more than that. It's weird. So you move around like that. You shoot and jump with the two buttons. Oh, and then also you can point the Wii remote at the screen to enter first person mode and shoot at things. But you can't move around while you're doing this, and that's how you fire your missiles. You can't fire missiles without going into first person mode.
Okay, that's just oh my god, there's so many problems.
See, this game was co-developed by Team Ninja, the people who made Ninja Gaiden. Also, Dead or Alive. Uh, but apparently, the director of the game, Yoshio Sakamoto, who was responsible for like 90% of the game's problems, by the way, was like, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if the game was controlled with like a D-pad and just two buttons?" And Team Ninja's just kind of sitting over there all sweaty, just like, What? And so they,
Wait, you just said what?
yeah, fucking what?
Are
Like
you dumb?
they pigeonholed an action game into being a really really weird ass control game. Like just it might as well be Mario Kart the way this thing is working.
It,
Sorry,
it, it ended up like the car for Homer,
yeah,
where
it's
it's just like Homer's like, oh, it'd be really cool if you made a car like this, and they're like, yeah, like this man represents what every man wants. And he just ends up creating this super shitty car that no one wants.
it's an iPhone game. You have one button and that button does everything. Okay, that's not even the worst part of this control scheme, by the way. So you move with the D-pad. Want to know how you dodge?
You double tap.
You just tap on the D-pad once.
Oh,
If you're tapping on the D-pad, and it's not even okay. Tapping on the D-pad normally doesn't initiate a dodge maneuver. It only initiates the dodge if a projectile is nearby. So now you might be asking, do you have iframes during this dodge? Yes, you do. You can dodge literally everything in the game by just mashing the D-pad. Oh, and also, if you're holding down the fire button while you dodge, you get a full charge in your charge beam. Which means the fight scenes play out like dodge, full blast, dodge, full blast, dodge, full blast, dodge, full blast. The enemy's dead.
dude, that's so stupid.
I
Like,
will say it's not.
is this a game, or
This
is
is a
this,
game.
or is this like the stupid Rise Son of Rome, where it was like, oh man, you had these QuickTime events for executions, but if you don't do the QuickTime events, you still do the execution, no problem.
Thankfully, this game doesn't have that problem. There's a scene where you're just walking through a hallway, and there's like you see like a lava fish just jumping around in the background, and the lava fish will then jump straight through the hallway, destroying it to try to eat you. If you're not ready for this, you just fucking die. Like if you tap the buttons though, you'll dodge it. But like when I was first playing the game, I'm just walking through the hall. I'm just like, oh, look at that, and then it just died, and I'm just like, what? Just kind of died out of nowhere.
But if
So anyway,
you spam tap buttons, you're invincible.
yeah, yeah, more or less. I mean, it's not entirely that broken. Like there were some fight scenes where I get shot by a gigantic energy ball, and if I tried dodging in the direction of it in the single frame when I don't have iframes between dodges, I got hit and got hurt. So sure, whatever. It doesn't entirely work. If you're a dumbass about the dodging, you will get hit, but you're also probably not gonna get hit because you won't be like me. Uh, like you got like a rhino thing jumping toward you. If you dodge in the direction of its charge, yeah, sure, you're gonna get hit. If you don't, if you literally play the game like a normal person, you won't get hit. So yeah, this tutorial guy is just like, yeah, Samus, those are the moves that I remember. He's talking like he knows her, and it's really creepy. Like you just like, oh yeah, do a dodge, do a charge shot. Yeah, that's it. Good job.
You see, when it
He,
comes to tutorials, I always wonder what would it be like in real life scenarios of the
mm-hmm.
entire like, yeah, now try dodge, and it's like, but this is like a military professional who like destroyed an entire planet, and you're like, yeah, let's work on dodging today.
let's just make sure that you are mentally well and prepared for this next mission, Samus. The baby.
The baby, the baby.
Anyway, so Samus is still very depressed. She leaves tutorial guy. Thank God he's out of this plot forever, or is he? And she's just kind of flying around through space, just doing her own thing. I don't know what she does in space. All I see inside that spaceship is a chair, and that's it. She says that weeks pass, but they go by very quickly because she's depressed. So whatever. But then she gets a distress signal. All right, and she's like, "Oh shit, there's a distress signal. I gotta go see what this is." And so she goes to this gigantic ship that very much looks like the ship from Fusion. That's odd. Are we reusing stuff here? Uh, so you go through the ship, and then you find a bunch of Galactic Federation soldiers and Adam Malkovich. Oh my god, this is where all that stuff I was talking about earlier comes back into play. So Uh, I have like 3 or 4 characters in this squad that are important. Okay, there's Adam Malkovich, the former commanding officer, who for some reason in this game is written as a fucking asshole. Get to him in a second. You got Anthony Higgs, the coolest man in the game, who is honestly cooler than the game. Like, he's too cool for this game, all right? He's like this huge black dude who like just always has a funny quip and one-liner to say. and he, and he calls Samus princess, and he's just like being openly flirty with him, but not too flirty. He's a Chad. This guy is smooth. And like he and Samus are like old war buddies, okay? Like honestly, if anything returns from Metroid Other M, I hope that's Anthony Higgs because this guy is cool. And then you've got 2 other guys, and the only reason I've got these guys on the list here is because I think they're fucking hilarious. You got a dude named Lyle Smithsonian, or all right, and
Wait,
he's
his
like,
name's Smithsonian?
yeah, I think it's Smithsonian, yeah, Lyle Smithsonian, and he is like, he's just this crazy old man who's the demolition expert. Like he clearly is far past his term, and he's very unhinged. Like there's a scene where there's like a little bug on the ground, and he just immediately runs up to it and just says, "Get away from me!" and kicks it. Then he pulls out a machine gun and just starts destroying the bug while laughing. He keeps on firing, by the way, and one guy's just like, dude, stop! What are you doing?"
Dude, it's just a bug. It's not just a bug. It killed my family.
That's the only like character moment you get to see for Lyle. After that scene, he fucking dies off screen. But he's my favorite character here just because of how...
He just dies to the bug off screen. That's the reason why I was shooting at it.
You know, now that you mention it, he does get killed by a very tiny thing. Probably. And then there's this other dude who I cannot for the life of me remember his name, but he's got a stupid looking mustache and he sounds like a fucking nerd. Like there's a scene where you and the boys are in this computer facility, and he sees a computer and she's like, "Yeah, leave it to me. Shouldn't be a problem to hack into this thing. I mean, it might tell us what's going on here." I remember his dialogue verbatim for some reason. I remember literally every word he says, and it pisses me off. I didn't even.
But you can't even remember his name.
Yep, I don't know his name. Don't know what his name is. Oh god. So I guess there's one more person I should probably mention. There's this Japanese dude named KG who has glasses on. He says, "Got it," and that's his only dialogue in the game. He has one line of dialogue. You don't even see how this guy... You don't even find his corpse. He just dies off screen.
Or did he die?
I mean, yes, he dies. Like, specifically, he gets killed, and you never find his corpse because it gets dropped into lava. But he's just declared missing in action in the post-game. So anyway, let's get into the plot. So... Why does everybody fucking hate Adam Malkovich? All right, why? Well, it's real simple. So in normal Metroid games, you unlock equipment as you progress. All right, you find the Varia suit. Now you're immune to fire damage. Cool. You find the super missiles. You can fire super missiles now. Very cool. Adam Malkovich doesn't want any of that. Samus already has all of her upgrades at the start of the game, but Adam Malkovich decides to take command and is just like, "Hey, Samus, I'm going to ask for your cooperation in this mission, but I'm also going to have to ask that you follow my commands. You don't move until I say so. You don't fire until I say so. You don't piss until I say so." And Samus is like, "Oh no, what did I do?" Oh yeah. And Samus totally eats this shit up because, like, the last time they saw each other, I guess Samus decided to leave the military because she was mad at something that Adam did. So this is like a weird petty dispute between these 2 dudes, or 2 people. And Anthony Higgs is right in the center, but just like, "Hey, come on, guys, let's all just get along and have a good time."
Look at me, I'm the cool one. I'm the glue that holds this team together.
Honestly, probably. Anthony Higgs is like the only competent man in this group. Like, he literally is now that I think about it, he's the only one who actually gets shit done. Everybody else is just dying off screen.
I was gonna say, like, when you're describing these people, it's like, okay, so from what I'm gathering, they're like what, some kind of Suicide Squad?
What we some kind of Suicide Squad? God, Anthony Higgs would totally be played by Will Smith if this were a movie. Okay, so oh yeah, there's also a funny moment where in the trailer for the game, it's showing all the stuff like just crazy shit happening. Samus fighting monsters, hand-to-hand combat, all that cool stuff. Anthony Higgs gets like one shot of just him opening up his visor and saying, "Remember me?" Nobody knew who this guy was before the games. They're all just like, "All right, cool. Let's make memes about this guy."
Let's make memes about how awesome this guy is, even though he obviously never existed until this point.
Yeah. So anyway, um, the game progresses, and let's see here. You're just kind of going through facilities and stuff. Oh, by the way, Adam has a complete POV of your camera. He can see everything that you see. All right. Everyone else, they have to use like comm computers and stuff. Adam is just kind of sitting in his chair for the entire game, like giving exposition and stuff. I'm sure if they could add like one of those Metal Gear Solid style communicator things, they would. But all we really get for Metal Gear Solid references is every time he dies, Adam is like, Samus, Samus, Samus.
Samus! Samus!
Yeah,
Oh my god. That is actually a great reference, though, to throw in there.
it is. So, also speaking of what I said about pissing earlier, you can find bathrooms. You're not allowed to go into the men's room, but you can go in the women's room. Sometimes there are upgrades in there. As far as I can tell, though, Samus never shits. I mean, the game's only 7 hours long. I timed it. I beat it in 7 hours, and I wasn't even trying that hard. It's very short.
But does
But yeah,
she piss?
she doesn't piss either. I don't even know how she goes in the suit. I mean, the suit goes all the way up her ass crack, so who knows?
I mean, it probably just recycles it all.
Oh no. It's all being fed into the power suit to be recycled.
Oh,
Ugh.
yes. That's
No.
that's actually an upgrade you can get in Subnautica below zero. You can get like a special suit that will like recycle the waste of your body. Um,
Uh,
they talk mostly about the sweat, but
yeah.
they also imply other waste, and it gets recycled and reused.
I'm just reminded of the people who like Power and Chainsaw Man, and how like she's just a dirty goblin for most of the manga. She's like, yeah, I'm the type of person who doesn't take baths. Fuck you, get in a bath, because they have to like live with her and stuff. And the fan base is just like, oh god, imagine how she smells. Ugh, people be creepy. So anyway, you're going through like the what I think they call this part of the game the biosphere. It's like Sector 1. It's full of plants and animals and shit, and you find like these armadillo things that you can fight. Um, I've actually got a poster up in my room of Samus lethal striking an armadillo creature, which is kind of hilarious because so game mechanic wise, you got a thing called you've got two special things you can do to enemies. One is an overblast, which is where you jump on an enemy with a full charge, and you'll just get on top of them and point blank fire a gun straight into their mouth. All right. And then you have the lethal strike, which is when an enemy is weakened and or stunned, you can run up to it and just do a finishing move that kills it instantly. All right. So when I was fighting the armadillo things, I was just like, ooh, let's try some of these mechanics. I do two overblasts and then do one lethal strike and then it dies. Didn't even have to fire my gun. Well, at least I didn't have to fire it manually. So anyway, uh, you're running around the facility and you see this little Furby looking motherfucker. Like, it just looks like a Furby. That's the best way I can describe it. It's got little chicken legs and it's walking around. It's got these cute little ears and it's just kind of staring at you, watching you. Okay? And like it first shows up, oh, this is kind of cute. And Samus is leaving through the door and then she stops and turns around and it's just staring right at her, unmoving, like its tail not even wagging. And she's just like, whatever. Goes through the door and continues.
Totally not creepy.
Yeah, not creepy at all. It's got like this weird aura to it where it's no longer funny and just kind of scary. I I don't know how to describe it. So anyway, you fight some bosses in this biosphere place. A lot of shit happens, and then after you finish a boss, like the little Furby thing shows up and just starts eating the corpses of the things that you're fighting. It's like eating the honey of like
Oh,
these
son
little
of a bitch.
bug things.
You can't be serious.
So you're looking at it. Oh, you already know what's happening, don't you? Don't say
Yep.
it.
Yep. As
so,
soon as it was like, oh, yep, it's eating the corpses. It's like, yep, okay, I know who this is.
so you're looking at the little Furby thing, and it just looks at you and just starts like screaming at you. And it opens its mouth, and its mouth unhinges like a fucking steak. It looks really weird. Like its mouth has like rows of teeth and shit, and it's just like shouting at you. And Sam is just like looking at this thing and just like, what the fuck? And I don't know. It's just a weird little Furby thing. Like it's like one of those cursed Furbies that you see online, where someone just took and put human teeth inside of a Furby. Like, no, there's a
God,
mental image for you.
God, one of those cursed images of just people putting teeth on things like teddy bears or things like that.
Yeah, yeah. So you leave this thing. I don't know why Samus doesn't decide to kill it, but whatever. I actually didn't know what was going on here. Like when I first started playing the game, I was just like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty neat. It's a Furby. Maybe it'll become my friend later on."
It's a Furby. It will be my friend. How
Yeah.
wrong you were.
Why is my favorite character in every game always the one who betrays the party?
When you can obviously tell that the one person's a bad guy from the beginning and he's going to betray you. This world is imperfect.
This world is imperfect. Samus just shows up and the Furby is like, this world is imperfect.
Yeah, this is totally a good thing.
If only he could talk. Anyway, so let's see here. Oh yeah. So then you go a bit further in, and then you find. Oh, by the way, this is a Galactic Federation facility. I should probably mention that. Just like the Galactic Federation facility in Metroid Fusion, and the one in Metroid Fusion was cloning Metroids and doing other crazy stuff. Don't worry, that won't come into play later. So you find later on the facility, all right? You just find like these basically you find a research center within the research center, and that sounds a bit like a weird thing, but you walk into a room and there's like holograms on the ceiling and walls to make it look like you're outside, and there's just a building in the distance that's inside. Why did they do this? I don't know. You go in there, and Adam has all the other soldiers rally to this point, okay? And they're all just meeting at this facility to figure out what the hell's going on in there, all right? You keep going through, and the game decides to do an over the shoulder perspective for this part for some reason, because I guess they wanted to be Dead Space. I don't know.
Okay, but
It's
you gotta give Dead Space some credit for some of that third person horror perspective.
okay. I got to admit, this part of the game does look really cool because you're walking through, and there's just like flickering lights and stuff, and it's really unsettling and creepy until you play it the second time and realize there's no actual jump scares. Uh, but up until that point, it was pretty neat. Um, and it's also, if I could get into some mythology gags here, so Metroid was heavily inspired by the movie Alien, and as was Dead Space, so it kind of makes sense that they would both kind of influence each other in a way, or at least Dead Space would
Yeah,
influence it.
yeah, that it's a little bit of a give and take, or that it's a little bit of because those both of those things sort of like revolutionize some of their genres.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I do like how Dead Space had no UI.
Well, that was the thing is their entire goal was to like put it on the player, and that was the
Yeah.
thing that they were like very challenged by,
Mm-hmm.
and they also worked really really hard to actually create that ambiance, and it did a really good job with it.
They did. So I've heard. So okay, so you're going through, and you find this bigger room, and you open up a door, and then the corpse of a space pirate just kind of falls out. All right, just kind of lands on the ground, and Samus is looking at it. I gotta say I really love the way the space pirates look in this game. Like I don't know why, but the Metroid Prime series, their design is all over the place and it doesn't really look all that good. I mean, it looks good, but I like how they make the space pirates look like these bug goblin men in Other M. Like they've got the stupid clown shoes, like purple and green coloring and stuff. Goofy hunch posture. Their tongues are like sticking out. They look really funny.
They're just people that got picked on by everyone else, and it was just like, look at you and your stupid tongue and your big stupid shoes, and they're just
Oh
like,
yeah,
you know what? Fuck you! I'm gonna go be a pirate. I'm gonna sail space.
and they got like claw arms and stuff like crabs that fire out bullets or fire out like beams and stuff. So Samus finds this thing and Adam's like, "Oh shit, look at that." And Samus is like, "Oh shit, look at that." And oh yeah, the game does this loves to do this thing where it locks you in first person mode and forces you to do a little hidden object game where it's like find the reason why you're locked in first person mode. So like move the mouse around the camera or the camera around and it's just like, "Oh, hey, look, something in the distance. Look at that. Ain't that crazy?"
Not gonna lie, this sounds like the people who made the game have serious ADD.
They
It's
do
like
actually. The
it's
game
like
like
let's keep switching perspectives. Let's keep
the
switching perspectives. Let's add other mechanics.
I think that's part of why I enjoyed the game so much because like it's only 7 hours long and it's like packed with content, or at least it feels like it. Because there's not much to the game, but it keeps on switching things up and having different stuff happen. Like you fight like 5 boss fights within the first couple hours, and it's really cool. Um,
It's like the suit. What is the suit? No, it
su-
was the Kingdom Heart. No, was it the Super Mario Odyssey or was it the Kingdom Hearts?
I don't know either. I mean, Mario Odyssey did jump around a lot,
Like it
but
jumped around
also,
a lot because then it's like, oh, Bowser shows up on a dragon and then there's like a weird Dark Souls world.
oh, I fucking loved that part of the game.
Because was
Like,
it Kevin who's just like, yeah, and the worst part is you sit there and you look like, what's your percent completion? And you're like, Jesus, I'm barely even halfway through.
yeah, that's what's Mario Odyssey was a fucking rad game. Like there's so much shit to do, and the game lets you pace yourself. You can rush through it like a madman, or you can take like hours on a single world and not even be halfway done. Anyway, Metroid Other M, bad games. Let's talk about bad games. So you do this hidden object game to find the Galactic Federation logo on this space pirate. Oh shit, what's going on? The Galactic Federation is manufacturing space pirates? That's crazy. They'd never do that. Looks at Metroid Fusion, where they do that exact same thing again. When I was a kid, I had like this theory, this really, really crazy crackpot theory that the Galactic Federation might have created the space pirates. Wouldn't that be insane? Honestly, it's
No,
not even.
that's impossible. That's just
It's
fake
not.
news. Just fake news.
Zebus was an inside job. Okay, so this part confused the hell out of me. I was looking at the wiki later on, just because I was looking at the wiki specifically for the space pirates, just because I thought they were cool. All right, um, and in this game they call them Zebesians. Okay, they're not called the space pirates are considered an organization, which I guess makes sense. But the way they describe the Zebesians is like they're like these lobotomized versions of the space pirates from Metroid Prime. Because in Metroid Prime, the space pirates had their own like culture and lore and stuff, and like they had like these logs that you could read of like their mishaps with trying to recreate Samus's morph balls and stuff, and their obsession with tubes because there's tubes everywhere in that game, so that Samus can morph ball through them all. I don't know. In this game, they're just a hive mind that follows a leader, and that's it. Okay? I think that's kind of dumb. I wish we could have the design of the Zebesians from Other M along with the personality of the space pirates from Metroid Prime, but you can't have everything you want, I guess. But anyway, also, here's a fun little game here. Dylan, how do you say Italy?
Idly?
Fuck you. You pronounce Italy as Italy. You pronounce Italian as Italian because that's how it makes sense, right? You pronounce Zebes as Zebes. You pronounce Zebesian as Zebesian, not Zebesian. the game has full dialogue, and they're just like, yeah, sure, let's just do that. I
Well,
don't know
I mean, what is it? Is Albania?
uh, I guess what's Albania?
So you have Albania, and people from Albania are Albanians,
Yeah.
and they speak Albanese.
Oh God. Well, I mean, Japan. The people from Japan are called Japanese, even though they should be called Japanese. So whatever.
Japanese. Hey, baby, are you Asian? Because I'm into Japanese.
God.
God, worst
Uh,
pickup lines. Woo!
so one thing I've written in my notes here is that it says nerdy mustache man doesn't do shit.
Nerdy mustache man doesn't do shit.
So there's another dude, just this random white guy who hacks into the computer in this facility. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna figure out what's going on here. The CPU self-destructed. I'm gonna refragment it or whatever. I don't fucking know. I don't know how computers work. I'm just a computer science major. Uh, he says something about how when he needs help, he's gonna need the help of Mustache Man. Then Mustache Man says that one line. As far as I can tell, Mustache Man doesn't actually help him out with the computer. He just kind of stands there on site. Because, like, I leave the room, I come back, the regular guy is still doing the computer, Mustache Man fucked off somewhere else. Okay? So, whatever. Doesn't matter. You go through the facility, you fight the space pirates. Really cool fight scene, because you can just jump on their heads, explode them. You can run up to them and grab them, throw them at things. It's really cool. Um, but anyway, eventually, all the other Galactic Federation dudes are fighting outside of the facility, and you're just kind of running around. What's going on? What are they fighting? You look out the window, and you see them fighting this massive ass creature. Okay, it's like this weird like xenomorph looking thing, but it's got like hair and stuff, and it's purple.
Hmm.
Uh, and you run out of the facility, and for some reason, it's nowhere to be seen. Everybody's looking up behind you. You turn around, look up at the building you just came out of, and it's standing there waiting for you and instantly pounces on you. Okay? And then you have a fight scene that's all in first person. Really cool idea. Kind of lame, honestly, in practice, because all you have to do is just aim and shoot, but whatever.
Yep.
So the fight scene gets interrupted when a plasma beam shoots at you. You turn, or it shoots and like hits the creature in the chest. Then it just immediately runs out, jumps through one of the walls, whatever. It escapes. Okay, you turn around and Anthony Higgs shot the beam. Anthony Higgs saved your life. That's the only character who's done anything useful in this game. Fantastic. So you and the boys are walking around and you find the corpse of Lyle, you know, the first dude who died. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just like, oh man, what could have destroyed it? What could have killed this guy? It looks like he was bitten all over by a really tiny thing. Huh. And then you go into first person mode and you find some green blood splatters, and you walk around the corner behind a jeep, and you find the corpse of the little Furby thing, but it's all hollowed out. Gosh, what could have happened?
Gosh, what does it mean?
Oh yeah.
What is it?
Oh,
Dragons?
so in my notes I've got something about musical cues here. Uh, and then the next line is Lyle fucking dies like a bitch. So you're ordered to pursue this mystery creature as they call it, and you go into the fireplace, the fire facility, all right, the pyrosphere as they call it, Sector 3, and the gimmick with this level is that it's covered in fire. There's just fire everywhere, lava and shit. And there's some areas that are so hot that you'll take damage as you're walking through them. Okay, keep that in mind. You travel through this facility, just running through these lava pits and vents, taking damage constantly. It's hell, literal hell. All right. There were a few points where I died because I fell into lava and I couldn't jump back out. And there's another point in this thing where you have to run up the side of like a thing as lava is raising, all that fun stuff. You get to the top, you fight this lava boss. The lava boss grabs you, then Adam talks in your communicator, and you know what he says?
I can't even hazard a guess.
Adam says, Samus, you should activate your Various suit to protect yourself from heat damage.
Oh.
You had access to your fucking Various suit this entire time. And Adam wouldn't let you use it because he's a petty bitch. Samus wouldn't use it because she's a spineless cunt. Alright? These two characters are locked in this stupid, petty mental battle for this entire game, alright? And that's the only way that I can interpret it. It's not like the developer was trying to say anything profound here. It's just an abusive relationship. And like why it boggles my mind how Samus did not like why did she deactivate the Various suit in the first place? What purpose did that serve? You know what the Various suit does? It protects you from heat and reduces damage by a little bit.
I was
That's
gonna
it.
say, like, it helps protect you from the heat. It'd be like, deep sea diving without a deep sea diving suit.
Yeah. And like the only reason like Adam tells you to disable your equipment because it would be dangerous to potential survivors. It makes sense because you've got a power bomb and the power bomb's ability is that it literally obliterates all life within like a 2 meter radius. Okay? Except for Samus somehow. I don't know how it works. But whatever.
She's just
It's
my honor. She's just built differently.
Your Honor, my client is simply built different 100. I mean, honestly, though. So, whatever. That just sort of happens. So, the next part of the game, I'm probably skipping over a ton of stuff, but who the fuck cares? You're walking around. You go to the cryosphere, which is the cold place. Haha, it's funny. Sector 2. Uh, and you're looking for survivors. For some reason, Adam thinks that survivors would be very likely to go there. I'm not sure why. It's
Anyone who
cold.
survived the Hellfire Zone is now in the freezing zone.
Honestly, I guess of the three, Cryosphere is probably the safest. Maybe. I mean, it's cold, but at least there's not lava, and sure the biosphere has tropical climates, but there's bugs and things crawling around everywhere. So whatever. You go in there, and wouldn't you know it, you do find a survivor. You find the corpse of one of the dudes again, and then you look over you get locked into first person. You look at the window. You see this blonde lady, scientist lady, and she runs away. So you go in there and try to find her, and she's like, "No, no, don't come any near me, or don't come any near me. What? Don't come any nearer to me."
You kill her with a Vara suit.
Various. You touch her, and then she just burns to death instantly. Dies of radiation poisoning.
No, don't come near me. Don't. It's like Samus, quick, you need to turn off. Oh wait, she's dead already.
The building gets flooded with fire, and then she dies, but you don't die, and so Adam thinks it's your fault. Anyway, so you're like trying to explain to her like how you're not one of the bad guys. You're like an independent bounty hunter and stuff, and she's like, "Yeah, but what about your soldiers? Why are your soldiers killing each other?" And then Sam's just like, "Whoa, what?" And then as you're talking, this scene gets interrupted by a massive power loader thing. Sort of looks like that one power loader from Alien, probably a reference. It just kind of comes in here and starts attacking you and trying to kill you and stuff. And it's like a somewhat intense fight scene. It's pretty cool, but it honestly makes me wonder why Samus, who has been established up until this point as like a literal god killer, is having some trouble against a industrial machine. But whatever. It's a cool fight scene and stuff, and the ship is being piloted by one of the soldiers. Gosh, who could it be? Uh, yes, I know it's evil mustache guy.
It
The
was
nerdy
me, the
dude.
man with the evil mustache. And I was like, ah, yes, I have
So
foreseen this day.
so you fight him, you destroy the thing, he gets away, and then you're talking to this lady who calls herself Madeline Bergman. Uh, that's her name. And earlier in the facility, you saw that Madeline Bergman was the name of the chick who signed off on the paperwork for this facility. So oh boy, she's responsible for all these deaths.
Let
Nice
me
one.
guess, she's gonna die.
It gets weirder from there. Oh, here we go. Oh my god. I just gotta. So I was gonna use these notes to like springboard off of different topics and stuff and just not read them out loud. But I have to read this part out loud just so I can get your reaction. Listen to this. Creepy tutorial guy resurrected a death god by cleaning his guts off of a woman's suit.
He really did give that suit a good polishing.
Yeah, so Madeline Bergman reveals that this whole facility, everything in it was cloned from Samus, the guts that were on Samus's suit. Like the Galactic Federation, they just kind of clean all this stuff up and they're just like, hey, we could use this. And they didn't even know that Ridley was among that. Oh, whoops. Damn, I just spoiled a plot point. Whoops. Yeah, fuck you. They didn't know that Ridley was part of this like amalgamation of DNA. They just kind of thought, oh yeah, this looks like a cute Furby thing. Let's keep it as a pet. Not knowing that Samus killed this thing. Everything on her suit is something that she killed. She didn't just kill an innocent child, or she doesn't do that usually.
I just imagine like someone just covered in blood, and they're just like, you know what? Let's clone the things that you just murdered and massacred.
Yeah,
What's the
Inclu-
what's the least worst thing we could bring back?
including the Metroids, including the baby.
The baby.
So,
Oh my god! Please tell me the baby doesn't come back. Fuck.
so okay, so yeah, it does like a flashback to like how this all happened, and you just see that one tutorial guy just like gave your suit a polish so you'd be at least a bit presentable. Then he adjusts his glasses, and it does that anime glasses shine thing. God, it's so stupid.
God,
And then
it's so stupid.
so, then Samus is talking to Madeline Bergman about the soldier who is like betraying the group and what's going on here, and then she says a line, and the moment she said this line, I felt myself die a little bit inside. Samus looks at the camera and says, "So what you're telling me is there could be an imposter among us."
Wait, what?
Yes. That's that's a real line from the game. I think she says like a betrayer or something, but she says among us. And I screenshotted the game at that point and sent it to my friend Josh, and I just said I want to fucking die. So this plot point is brought up and almost instantly forgotten. I just gotta say. Like, Samus is going on about this guy working within the Galactic Federation who is here to get rid of, basically, make this entire facility go away so that nobody knows the mistakes of the Galactic Federation, alright? She calls this dude the Deleter,
The
gives him a cool
Deleter.
name. Yeah, she's like, she just instantly decides to call him the Deleter. You didn't need to give him a cool nickname, Samus. You could have just said, there's a dude who's gonna betray us all inside this group.
You think the Deleter is a cool nickname? Like, the Destroyer sounds cool. The Deleter, it just sounds like a nerd who's trying to be cool.
Well, you're not wrong, because it's Mustache Guy, who is literally just a nerd who's trying to be cool.
It was Mustache Guy all along.
Or was it? Who knows? I'm not saying that to build suspense. I'm saying that because the game forgets about this plot point pretty quickly, and we never actually are explicitly told who the Deleter was. In fact, he might as well have not even been in the game in the first place. He could have just had the characters die from random happenstance. I mean, Lyle certainly died from random happenstance.
It was the Asian guy who fell into the lava. He got
Yeah.
deleted.
So, yeah. See, that's actually what happened, too. While Samus is going on about this Deleter, it cuts to, like, oh my god. You know that one scene, the Meet the Spy, where the spy is talking? He could be you, he could be me, and he's like, it's just showing the spy killing a bunch of people. Like, he kills the medic, takes his glasses and puts them on.
Yeah.
You have that sort of a montage, but it's just the Deleter killing people, and he like he shoots KG with a freeze gun, then throws him into lava to kill him and stuff. Oh my
God.
god. So you go back to Pyrosphere with this new knowledge, and you just you fight this clown, this freaking Amonochlorus looking thing that looks like that's got clown shoes. I don't know why everything has clown shoes in this game, but whatever, it works. You know what Amonochlorus is, right? I don't even
A,
know if I'm pronouncing that right.
a what?
That one prehistoric creature that has the two prong things. It's like a giant bug. Those things, right?
What's the name of it?
Amonochlorus. I don't fucking know what they're called.
I
It's
think I know.
all you need to know is it's this gigantic bug thing, and for some reason it has the uh some of the most build up for a boss in this game, really. Because like every other boss fight, including Ridley, it's all foreshadowed and stuff. Like this one specifically, I single out just because the game decides to put a lot of focus on it, even though it's just a fucking giant bug thing that fires off missiles at you. I don't know. It can shoot seeker missiles and stuff. It's really cool looking. So you go into the pyrosphere, and this thing is fighting Anthony, and Samus is like, "Oh shit, Anthony!" And then she tries to save him and stuff, and then fails because I suck at the game, and I didn't figure out that I was supposed to point my camera at the grapple beam point so that Adam would tell me to enable my grapple beam. Uh, but after Adam, if Anthony dies, the game just goes to game over because we can't lose Anthony. He's too cool for this game. If he dies, then Samus will just become a hollow husk. Well, even more of a hollow husk than she already is. Also, I gotta say, I think part of the reason why Anthony is so popular is because he's like the only character Samus doesn't monologue about for like an hour. She has almost nothing to say about him other than he calls her princess, which I think is kind of cool.
He calls me princess, and just moves on.
Yeah. So anyway, you go a bit further into the facility, and you gotta like you fight the Monochlorus thing. I think you kill it eventually, or maybe you kill it later. I don't fucking know. Uh, and then you go into the climate control room, which is full of lava and stuff, and it's very dark, and you can't see anything. You go in there, and Anthony's fighting this giant monster again, and he's like, "I don't know, I can't see a thing in here, man. This is crazy. We gotta clear out." And Sam's just like, "All right, let's find the exit." You point the camera, and Adam's like, "Hey, use your super missiles to shoot open this blast thing, because it'll twofold reveal the exit, but it'll also have lava come out and light up the room." And I'm just like, "Yeah, it makes sense." You shoot it. Then it reveals that the giant monster thing that Anthony was fighting is actually Ridley. Holy shit!
It was Ridley all along.
Or as the fan base calls this version of Ridley, Roydley. Because for some reason, so Ridley in every other game is like this, like emaciated looking purple dragon, right? He's kind of skeletal. In this game, he is ripped. He's jacked. For some reason, Ridley just has really thick muscles and stuff.
He decided not to skip leg day.
Yeah. His body is also weirdly disproportionate. Like his head's giant and his arms are really short. He looks like a flying manlet. It's really weird because the design for Ridley, like the concept art looks really cool. It's all symmetrical and stuff, and he's got like a creepy looking beak and stuff. And then but then the concept art for the mystery creature who you fought before, it looks really stupid. I mean, if you look at my profile picture right now, I just took the mystery creature concept art and I added I added an anime blush to it and the stupid heart eyes because I thought it looked funny and cursed. So yeah, that's what my profile picture looks like. Congrats.
Yes, you like heart eyes.
And then my status says Ridley is submissive and breedable.
Oh my god. Well, out of all the Pokemon, Vaporeon.
Vaporeon is perfect for sex. Oh god. So anyway, yeah, Ridley just kind of is there now, and Samus has a PTSD. Samus has a woman moment. No, no. Samus gets super hardcore PTSD from this, like, which
She gets
would be
now flashbacks.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh my god, Ridley, holy shit!" And I swear to God, she literally turns into a child on camera. Like the camera flashes, Samus is there, and then suddenly you see a little child standing there as Ridley walks up to her slowly, just kind of whoop, 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 and roars into her face. Because I think Ridley, I don't know exactly how smart or dumb Ridley. Oh, okay, Ridley is shown to be very intelligent in this game. Okay, like it's actually kind of cool. He plays dead, so the scientists think he's dead. They go into his little chamber, and then he immediately kills them. Okay, he when he's the mystery creature, he already singles out Samus as the biggest threat in this facility,
Hmm.
and so he like hides in the building for Samus to come out. Samus comes out, he jumps on her instantly. Okay, Ridley is smart. He's actually really smart in this game. Okay, so I think that either on some level he recognizes that Samus is like related to him because this is a clone of Ridley. This isn't the real Ridley, all right? He either recognizes something about Samus or he just wants to fuck with her because he's already a sadist. That's just a learned trait or something. Because he doesn't immediately fight Samus. He just starts roaring at her and stuff because he's trying to freak her out. So Anthony fires his plasma beam cannon thing at Ridley again, and Ridley takes damage. And then he just whips his tail around and knocks Adam into the lava. And this finally triggers Samus to be pissed enough to actually fight Ridley, and the
To
fight
actually
commences.
stop being Shinji and do something about it.
Yeah. See, this would be a really cool scene if it happened in Metroid One. Like if they made this as a remake of Metroid 1, that'd be really nice. But no. This is this is chronologically the second to last game in the timeline in which Samus has slayed literal gods and fought Ridley multiple times. Like I
Yeah,
swear to God, he's fought Ridley like 5 or 6 times by this point. So it makes no sense that he would just be like, or she would just, you know, be all freaked out by this.
yeah. You think the PTSD would have worn off at that point of after killing Ridley X amount of times.
Yeah, but whatever. I think Sakamoto just really wanted to have this scene from the manga in the game, even though it didn't work. But whatever. So after you fight Ridley, Anthony or no Adam. I keep getting their names mixed up. Adam tells you to like enable your plasma beam finally. So now you have your fully upgraded arsenal of weapons and shit. Okay. So you fight Ridley. He leaves. He just kind of fucks off. Like he's like, "Oh shit, I'm at a disadvantage here." Breaks open a hole in the wall and runs away. And Sam's just like, "I gotta find this guy." But then um, Adam goes completely quiet at this point, and Samus suspects that the deleter got to him. Okay, and so she sees a guy in a Galactic Federation uniform and decides to trail him. Okay, so like there's a point in the game where there's a massive gap you can't get across, and Samus is like, "Any objections, Adam?" And then she enables her screw attack, which is yes, that's actually the name of a weapon in the Metroid series, the screw attack.
The screw attack.
The screw attack is a thing where you jump up in the air and you do a somersault in the air, and you can jump infinitely from this mode, and any enemy that you jump into dies instantly. It's a really weird ass thing that only really works in a platforming game. They tried to get it working in the Metroid Prime series, but it was more like a I don't even know what it was in that game. It was just like a thing. So you're trailing the leader and stuff, and you eventually find Sector Zero, which is the according to Madeline Bergman, this is the place where they have the super Metroids. Heh. The really powerful Metroids that cannot be frozen. Okay, that sounds like a weird thing to say, but in the Metroid series, Metroids have been established to be weak to ice attacks and stuff. Like, the most effective way to kill a Metroid is to freeze it and then shoot it with a missile. Okay? there is no other way to kill a Metroid usually. Like they're like that's like the through line for the series.
What about blowing
So
up the planet?
that too. No, they still live. No, so the whole thing about Metroids, freezing in this game, you find Metroids that you find signs of, or as Samus calls it, signs of Metroid predation on a dead creature in the cryosphere, which is the ice place. This makes no sense. That's crazy. Metroids that can't be frozen. That's nuts. That changes everything. God.
But does
So
it really?
apparently it does, according to Adam, because you go into Sector Zero, and you're on your way in there to kill all the Metroids. Samus is like, "I'm here to kill the Metroids," but then she gets shot in the back by an ice gun. Okay, one of the same ice guns that the Galactic Federation soldiers have. It's like, what the fuck? I got shot in the back, and she just immediately goes into like a spastic fit and falls on the ground, and her suit disappears. Maybe this is why having a suit that requires focus doesn't work, because up until this point, you've been building up your energy tanks. Probably you've got like 8 energy tanks, and you should be able to take pretty much any hit. But a single ice gun shot to the back from a Galactic Federation soldier is enough to put Samus out of commission. And she just falls on the ground, just like, "Oh no, oh my god!" And then a baby Metroid is in front of her, and it's like looking at her and stuff. She's like, "Oh shit, oh the baby, oh my god!" And then Adam steps out from behind one of the pillars, and he's like, he shoots the baby Metroid and kills it. All right, Adam would kill a child, based. And, and like he walks up to Samus, just lying on the ground in a pool of her own blood and piss or something. I don't know. And and, and Adam is just kneels down, just like, "Samus, you can't kill these Metroids." "What are you talking about, Adam? And why did you shoot me?" Adam does not elaborate on why he shot her. He just kind of says, "No, the Metroids in Sector Zero cannot be killed by any of your weapons." Adam just kind of knows this. I don't know why. He claims that he speculates this from the Metroid that you from the thing that you okay. So the corpse you found in the cryosphere, all right? It was attacked by a Metroid. You don't know how long ago it was attacked by a Metroid. For all you know, the climate could have gone wackety wackety after it died to a Metroid. So Adam is basing his entire argument and reason for shooting Samus in the back off of this really stupid idea. Okay?
Okay.
And so he just kind of explains to Samus that she just can't fight the Metroid. Sorry, but no, you gotta go track down Ridley and kill him off screen. I'm gonna take on these Metroids. You do something else. Fuck you. And so Adam gets in, and she's like, wait, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna kill the Metroids? You just got a gun. And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna detach this facility from the inside." And Samus immediately realizes that Adam is gonna go kill himself, like do a heroic sacrifice thing. She's like, "No, you can't do that! Oh my gosh, no, 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 no!" And she tries to rematerialize her suit, but she can't because I guess the ice beam shot weakened her. I don't understand this part. Whatever.
Samus is part Metroid and she's weak to ice.
Uh, Actually, you're not wrong, but that doesn't happen until fusion. See, in Metroid Fusion, you are attacked by an X parasite, and they give you a vaccine made of Metroid DNA that alters your DNA. It makes you part Metroid. So, in theory, you could say that Samus is Metroid. People, those idiots on the internet weren't wrong. Actually, like they're just, why can't Metroid crawl? Whatever.
Why can't Metroid?
So, there's a Miiverse post where this guy is playing Metroid 1 and he's like a kid and he's like, "Why can't Metroid
you mentioned
crawl?" Yeah, I did.
Why can't Metroid crawl?
Anyway, Adam fucking dies. You leave the facility. You fight some other things. You fight this giant, what looks like a booger face thing in a box. I don't really care about this character. It's called Nightmare. It was in Fusion. Just whatever. And Ridley dies off screen. What? They created a computer AI to control the Metroids because they found that, just like Mother Brain, they needed an AI to control the Metroids and keep them docile. you go back and eventually you like find you find this red-haired chick, okay? And she also claims to be Madeline Bergman. All right? So she starts explaining that they eventually realized that the AI was good, but what they needed was a motherly touch. You see, they needed a basically they just needed a woman or just a human body for the Metroids to project on so they were easier to control and stuff. So they created an android and they put the mother brain AI inside of it, right? Samus immediately realizes why this is a bad idea because Mother Brain was kind of a megalomaniac, and they just kind of decided, yeah, let's recreate that. What could go wrong, right? And they used the same AI construct that Mother Brain had. Take a guess who the android is. Yeah, it's that blonde chick from earlier.
Yeah.
So, I also got to point out that that either Samus is really tall or the blonde chick is really short because the scenes where they're standing next to each other, Samus is like 3 or 4 heads above her. It's kind of hilarious.
She's the imposter.
So basically, the whole reason this whole facility went all fuckety uppity is because God, I hate this name. Madeline Bergman, she the AI they created, they decided to call MB, okay, like Mother Brain, but it could also stand for Madeline Bergman
God,
or Melissa Bergman.
I just hate the stupid like. Let's have so many cross references in here.
Dylan, the 9 on the last door was actually a Q. Don't you see? Anyway, so like they call her MB, and then Madeline decides to call her Melissa Bergman, affectionately making her daughter or whatever. You know, that's not gonna.
Of course, it'd be her daughter.
Face. Yeah, my daughter. Yeah, so but for some reason the computer AI that gave an android body starts to develop feelings and emotions. They're like, oh my god, we can't have a woman have emotions, so they're just like, we gotta lobotomize MB so that she's more docile, more submissive, and breedable. I hate how that keeps coming up. So they plan to do this thing, and they forget that they shouldn't be making these plans while MB is within earshot, and MB understandably freaks out at hearing this, and decides to turn the entire facility against the scientists and stuff, and that's how they all died. And Madeline Bergman, red-haired lady, just kind of hides off in the room where they've got the giant Metroids. Oh, spoiler alert! Sector Zero had the unfreezable Metroids in it, probably, but you end up fighting more Metroids in the finale, so whatever. What does it matter?
There's a few more Metroids than what we initially thought. Turns out someone's sacrifice was actually completely pointless.
You fight the final boss, which is a Metroid Queen. You know, you've seen Alien. You know what this thing looks like.
Yep.
You get swallowed up by the Metroid Queen, and while you're in its stomach, for some reason the game doesn't tell you that you now have power bombs. I don't get it. It's dumb. I had to look up a guide for this part of the game when I first played it. So you obliterate the Metroid Queen. You confront MB, and she freaks out, and she's like, I'm going to become a god. Myahaha. It's hard to feel sorry for MB when she's such a flat character, honestly. Like, I don't know, she looks kind of cute, I guess, but...
I mean, the only characters you actually appreciate, though, was literally Quip Line Guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, even the main protagonist was just like, could you please stop narrating about people? You're actually making them worse.
Yeah. So, MB dies. You kill her. You shoot her. The Galactic Federation shows up. They shoot her. This one prick shows up, like this general guy, and Samus is like, I want to talk to to Madeline Bergman again and stuff, and take her back home to her home planet. And the guy is like, talking with civilians is strictly prohibited to outsiders. And seeing as everyone above you just died in this whole thing, because at this point everybody is dead. you're just completely barred from this investigation or whatever.
Mm.
And he's just like, hey, you soldier there, I want you to escort her away. And then so a guy, like a dude in Galactic Federation gear, walks up to you and just says, right this way, princess.
Oh,
And
you
he
son of a
opens up his
bitch.
helmet and says, remember me? No, he doesn't say remember me. But yeah, the boy Anthony survives somehow. And he explains that while he was falling into the lava, a lava creature appeared and he shot it with an ice beam and landed on the ice, and that's how he survived. It makes no sense, but I'm glad to see him back.
Oh my god, you just remember me, princess.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Oh, it's like, wait, how are you alive? Well, I was falling, and then there was this lava creature, so I shot with an ice beam and froze it.
Yeah. So yeah, the game basically ends from here. You just kind of walk out. There's a scene where Samus is talking about how sad she is that Adam Malkovich died, and she's actually wearing clothes for a change. She's wearing a pretty nice outfit, and it's not like a random body hugging suit or just a straight up bikini. Because by the way, up until this point, the only time we've seen Samus outside of her suit was either in a Zero suit or in a space bikini. I don't understand why.
Space bikini, space
Like
bikini.
there's a
Zero
scene where
G does many things.
yeah. Anyway, so now let me explain a big reason why people hate this game. You've already seen most of it. I've already explained most of it, but I think this last part is kind of hilarious in retrospect. Okay. So you've heard the talk about the baby, all right? She keeps on referring to the baby Metroid as the baby. Oh my gosh, blah blah blah, the baby, all right?
Mm-hmm.
The distress signal that gets her onto the ship is called a baby's cry distress signal. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Samus says it's a codename baby's cry to draw as much attention as possible, as a distress signal should. And the ship is called the Bottle Ship, and it looks like a giant baby's bottle in space.
Jesus Christ.
The initials of the game, Metroid Other M, MOM, Mom. Samus gets turned into a literal child when she's fighting Ridley. Here's a fun part. So that thing about Adam saying any objections, lady, at the end of every mission briefing, Adam would look at Samus and say any objections, lady, while there's other soldiers present. Because as Samus calls it, it was like an affectionate thing, but I'm pretty sure Adam is just a misogynistic asshole.
He's just being an asshole.
Yeah. See, I call this section Metroid Other M and the kitchen. Get back in the kitchen. Oh yeah, you can't go into the men's room. Oh, mother brain. God. That's right, the Galactic Federation bioengineered a mom. They literally bioengineered a mom for the Metroids, okay? The entire theme of this game is motherhood. Samus has incredibly wide birthing hips. Very wide birthing hips.
That just makes this so much worse.
It does, doesn't it?
In every way.
Dylan, you're gonna hate this last line I wrote in here.
This sounds like a fucking fetish.
Samus has wide birthing hips. She's also extremely submissive. Samus is submissive and breedable.
she's submissive and breedable. You know that line doesn't scar me as much as the fucking everything is about like Metroid Other M. Mom. She has wide birthing hips. The baby's cry. The bottle. It's like, what the fuck is this shit?
I didn't even realize this until the second time I played it too. When I was first playing it, I was just like, oh yeah, bottle, cool. It's pretty nice. You can shoot things in this game. That's fun.
with your silly tap dodge mechanic.
Yeah. You also don't even need to aim. You just have to be in the direction of a thing that you want to shoot. So, yeah. This game was designed to basically be like the game that would get Japanese people into Metroid, which is a terrible idea, by the way. I think that's why it has so many anime tropes in it.
Yes, Japan, where they make public service announcements about licking people's eyes.
Yeah. Where the Japanese government created an anime to make people have sex more because the birthing rate was so low.
God,
Yeah, I'm good.
Japan has a unique ways to solve problems.
I'm gonna be real with you, Prime Minister of Japan. This is pretty rad, but it's not gonna fix the declining birthing rate. Oh, God. So I can totally understand why people hate this game, but for some reason I played through it like 3 times already. I was gonna play it in hard mode, but the hard mode doesn't have any hidden upgrades in the environment, so that kind of removes part of the fun of playing Metroid. I mean, that literally means it's not even a Metroidvania anymore. But whatever.
Mm-hmm.
God. So anyway, that's Metroid Other M, fellas. Join us next time, or maybe like 3 or 4 or 5 episodes from now, where I tackle the rest of the Metroid series.
Where you try. Hopefully, it's not as much as a weird motherly dumpster fire as. Oh God.
It always creeps me out when I hear like the interviews with like Sakamoto talking about Samus because he affectionately calls Samus his daughter, and I'm just like, boy,
Hmm. What?
this is a
Excuse me. What the fuck is this? Just what the fuck is this? No. What is this?
like if you want to be like Yoko Taro and be horny, that's fine. That's really cool, you know. Just give her heels. Say you just like girls. People will be fine with it. If you try to say the main character is you're like your daughter, and she's dressed like that, I don't know, Chief. That's a bit much.
I don't know, Chief. I think you're leaning in the wrong direction there, champ.
God. Anyway, you can find the podcast on YouTube. Nowhere else. I haven't really gone official with this thing, and I've got no art stuff to plug outside of my YouTube channel where I make puppet memes. That's basically it.
Got to start
See,
somewhere.
yep. See you guys next week.
See
Have a
ya.
good night.